Hey YouTube, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a knife video for you. And today I've got a couple of new arrivals from RealSteel. Now, I'm not going to go into a great deal of depth on either one of these. It's going to be a quick first impressions and a question for you guys. I definitely want to ask you about this knife. This is the Ipon, and I'm not going to close it just yet. You're going to have to wait around to see about why I'm wondering about that knife. So let's give a quick rundown on the newest iteration of the Megalodon. Okay, so this is the Megalodon Revival, and it's meant to sort of model the Eclipse version of this knife, but to come in at a more attractive price point. And it does that. I think this knife is like 50 or 60 bucks. Okay, so that's a far cry from the 200 that they wanted for the other. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe it's closer to 100, but whatever. So quick rundown here. We've got N690 steel with this sort of slightly upswept blade with a bit of a recurve. Nice and thin grind. N690 is a fine steel, all right, especially for the price point this is coming in at. Moving down to the handle is where we get the biggest departure. This is not a titanium frame lock. It's stainless steel. And then on this side, we've got the laminated carbon fiber. So in hand, the knife feels pretty good. The blade, I kind of like this blade. And I have to tell you, the original Megalodon is still fantastic with the roller bearings and the titanium. If you can get a Megalodon that's a couple of years old, absolutely buy it. You may have to specifically ask if it has the roller bearings because they switched away from the roller bearings in current production. But that's still my favorite version of this knife. However, I want to point out that the one issue that you could probably point to with that knife was the fact that the blade, the handle has these curves and these interesting lines. And then at the front, you just have sort of a plain flat ground blade. So I feel like this blade kind of fits the design a little bit better than the original blade. Even though I know some of you are not going to be huge fans of recurves. Again, I don't mind them. I use the sharp maker and basically I just sharpen them the way I would sharpen any knife and don't have any issues. All right. But I know some of you who use a fixed angle system don't want to add something else. The other option, and I pointed this out before, is the Lansky rod sharpener. It's like 19 bucks and it'll sharpen recurves like a dream. Okay. So let's get back to the knife itself. I should have given you a size and weight on this. I will say this. Let me, we're going to mess around with my proper order on this video. It feels great in hand. I think this is a really nice, budget-ish, all right, EDC option. I think this is a pretty good knife. Let's grab the size here. So we've got about 4 inches of blade, about 5 inches of handle, just a little under 5 inches. Overall, the knife is going to be about 8 7/8, and it's going to weigh in at about 5 ounces. Forget it. I'll just tell you. It weighs 5 ounces. Okay, so move that out of the way. Let's bring in the Ipon again. And now you can see I've got it closed, and maybe you're seeing what makes me kind of not so sure what I think about this knife. Instead of a front flipper or a back flipper, it's got a top flipper, which yeah, I guess that's what we call this. It's interesting and it's fairly intuitive. I will say right out of box, I could flip this with my index finger or I kind of instinctually wanted to try the side thumb, and it works really well. So it works. I don't know. I guess maybe what they were trying to go for is to come up with something that would work either as a front flipper or as a sort of index finger flipper. And so they kind of put the flipper right in between the two, and it kind of works, okay? Now, I will say this. Just from this view right here with the Quaken style blade, I like Quaken style blades. I love that this blade just completely disappears into the handle there. So yeah, I think from that perspective, very, very cool. I like the slimness of this. I like the slimness of the pocket clip. It is a single position, by the way. But honestly, I just don't know what to tell you guys about this this weird top flipper. I'm going to carry this. I'm going to use it. I'm going to see what I think. In terms of performance, I think this is a pretty good knife. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Because honestly, I don't know. When RealSteel suggested I take this and review it, I almost wanted to turn them down because I was afraid I would really hate it and just want to give a really bad review. And I have to say, with a day or so's use on this, it's pretty addictive, right? I find myself flipping this a lot. It's pretty intuitive in terms of function. Excuse me, guys, but I just don't know if I like the look of it sort of poking out of the top of the handle there. Anyway, let's grab you quick size and weight on this, and then I'll give you my overall impression. I guess maybe we'll bring the Megalodon back in too, but I think you kind of know what I think of that. Okay, so overall, this guy is about 8 1/4 inches, just maybe 8 3/16. Blade length here, you can see about 3.5 inches of cutting edge, and then 1/4 inch here that we kind of lose for the Ricasso. Handle length there is going to be, I'll give you guys an easy way there, about 4.5 inches. So not a very, 8-inch knife overall, basically. It feels quite light. So I think it's going to be, hold on, this one I forgot to write down, so I'm going to have to do it again. Let's see here. So there's ounces. 3.2 ounces. So yeah, about 3 ounces. So it does carry, I kind of suspected it was pretty lightweight, and it is. Let me give you a quick look at, it is on bearings, and it is a liner lock. You can see the handle construction there. Now, another question I have is, look at all the little standoffs down here. So I'm gonna have to take this knife apart just to kind of see how it all goes together. The other thing I wanna check is whether it has roller bearings or ball bearings. A lot of times when RealSteel brings out a new knife, they will put roller bearings on it. I am a little disappointed to see they've moved to ball bearings on the Megalodon, although it doesn't seem to have a huge impact on the action. Okay, so there you go. There's the 2 knives from RealSteel. Pretty interesting knives. Again, I'm still kind of scratching my head about the Ipon. All right, the Megalodon is kind of a known thing. We know it's a pretty nice knife, and this is just a variant of it. And so no surprise that I kind of like it. The Ipon, I'm still not quite sure what I think of it, but I would love to hear your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I suppose I've been trying to ask this, but I always forget. Hit the notification button. And if you want to buy these, go over to White Mountain Knives and pick them up over there. I'm pretty sure if Justin doesn't have them in stock, he will in the not too distant future. All right, thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.